What up, people? Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yes, man, I'm back. I'm back. I'm better than ever. I'm fully rested. I'm fully engaged. I'm so happy to see y'all. So happy for y'all to see me, and I'm so happy to actually have a mic that's actually working. Hopefully, right now when I'm recording, because I was going to give y'all out. Matter of fact, I gave y'all, little do y'all know, I gave y'all a special impromptu edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph last week. And due to a microphone snafu, it was unable to be released because it sounded like I was floating underwater. I was scuba diving. So a certain person say. But neither here nor there. I'm back this week. I'm a day late, but yes, I'm still great. And it's a good thing I'm actually a day late because I have a lot of things I got to get into. If I would have did everything according to plans, then I would have missed out on the big news that happened about 10 o'clock Sunday night, and that would be the signing of Juan Soto to the New York Metropolitans. Not only did he sign with the Metropolitans, but he left the New York Yankees. Yes, he left the New York Yankees. Yes, he left the New York Yankees. And yeah, it took us $765 million to pry him away from the evil empire, to pry him away from those entitled uh ignoramuses up in the Bronx. Everybody in the Bronx is the ignoramus except for my sister. Ooh, but that's neither here nor there. Yes, that was breaking news last night, and I chose to just say, you know what, I'm just going to be easy. I'm going to reformulate my thoughts, and I'm going to release one a day late. But like I said, day late and still great. What I have on the agenda this week would be, of course, a lot of football talk. And you see this background you're accustomed to with Jetty and Stitch and Cloudy up there. And this guy over here, I never gave him a name. And that 23, which represents Tyler McDowell. And speaking of graduations and degrees and stuff, Mr. Winchester. Yes, congratulations, Mr. Winchester. I'm letting you know, or should I say I'm asking, because I'm not going to be for it, but I'm asking, can I get some type of memorabilia um, depicting your big accomplishments so I can add on to my background of my wall of greatness, if you will? But I'm saying this because for the next couple of weeks, for various reasons, I'm probably going to be incognito, meaning if I do happen to record, um, probably won't be this background. I have no idea the location of where where I'm going to be able to record in my humble abode, both here and on HGF. And just I ask y'all to please bear with me. My bro, the Mojo King, has been more than understanding. Pretty much, he's willing to twist himself into a pretzel to accommodate whatever I'm able to be accommodated. So peace out to him. But yeah, so the next couple of weeks are going to be more like an under construction type deal. I'm going to have my grandchildren in tow the week of Christmas, so they probably won't be an episode, because not the fact that I couldn't do an episode. No, it's the fact that I don't want to share my time with y'all when my grandchildren are with me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, it is what it is. But like I said, this week I got lots of Jets talk. And not really a lot of Jets talk, but I got to talk about these Jets and their latest loss. Um, a return of one of my favorite segments, but this week is not really favorite because I didn't win no money. Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head, aka my gambling recap. Yeah, I got a lot of bones to pick with a lot of teams. Starting with one team down in the dirty. That's, you know, the focus of a fandom of my brother-in-law, Low Fat Beats. Yeah, I got a lot of things to talk about him. But first and foremost, of course, I am going to lead off this show with what everybody chose to click on here to hear. And that's my thoughts on the signing of future Hall of Famer, the signing of Juan Soto for $750 million to the New York Mets. Uncle Steve strikes again. Matter of fact, Uncle Steve makes his first strike, and Uncle Steve will not be denied. Yes, he will not be denied. Uncle Steve. I wish Uncle Steve was my real uncle so I could have a greater Christmas than I already am having. No regrets, because, like I said. And at the very, very end, I have some news to let y'all know about, because it's that time of year again. Mike Steph is dropping some music. Tell you the truth, by the time you hear it, by the time you watch this program, the music might just be already available. But it's coming out in 3 parts. But yeah, we'll get to that later. So that's what's on tap this week. I'm not going to be long-winded, but I won't say I won't be long. Without further ado, good night and goodbye. Bang!
Salty thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting, a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed for living. Rep New York City, but hate the politicians. Always bring the heat, Steph baking in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best in the world of what I do. All y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in.
Juan Soto signed the richest contract in North American sports history. 15 years, $765. Oh, my bad. $765 million. Yes. Such a beautiful thing. The best part about the fact that he signed is the fact that it's a new day. Yes, it is. A new day. Uncle Steve delivered on his promise. Uncle Steve delivered on what he set forth to do, and that was to make us on even keel, if not maybe just a little bit, couple upper echelons over the New York Yankees. We were mano a mano. I'm listening to Michael K today. Before I get into all the notes that you can use, I'm listening to Michael K today, and he's like, well, Jeff Passan said that one of the main reasons why he chose the New York Mets over the New York Yankees is because he feels like they have a better future. They have a better outlook. And I don't understand how that's the case. Why don't you just call a spade a spade? Why can't you just say that he chose the Mets because the Mets gave him more money? Okay, that's probably true. But he has first-hand knowledge of what it is like to be a New York Yankee fan. I mean, a New York Yankee. Y'all got to the World Series, and y'all got steamrolled. Y'all got to the World Series, and the only reason why y'all got to as far as y'all got was because of him. This Captain America, this avenging back-to-back lineup of Judge and Soto end up being just the solo Soto's tour. There's no knock against Aaron Judge. But did he show up in the postseason? No. Has he shown up in the postseason? No. Did he actually make a crucial error that possibly, probably, definitely turned the tide of said World Series game? Yeah. Did the Mets already do the Yankees a favor a couple years ago by not even attempting to bid for Aaron Judge's services? Probably. Did they know something that the rest of the league didn't know? No. They just knew that there was someone that was going to be 6 years younger coming right behind them that probably was going to give them more bang for their buck. And that ultimately ended up being true. But all this thing about, there was a report that John Heyman put out that one of the factors that might have had something to do with Soto's decision was his family not really having carte blanche as much as they would have with the Mets. He would have to actually pay for his own suite for his family. Oh my God. Well, if we're paying somebody $765 million, it's not a lot to ask for them to spend $1 million on a suite. Derek Jeter doesn't have a suite. Aaron Rodgers doesn't. Aaron Judge doesn't have a suite. A-Rod never had a suite. I'm just saying, if we're giving somebody $250 million, he can't spring for a suite. That's not the point. It's principle. Principalities. Make me feel like you want me. Make me feel like I'm on brand. I'm on equal footing with this Yankee way. Was he going to take every last dollar? Yeah. Well, if that was the case, then why did he even entertain the Yankees' offer? Why did he give them last at bat? Why did he go back to the Yankees and say, listen, they gave me $765 million for 15 years. Do you want to match that? News came out that Hal Steinbrenner wasn't really comfortable going to that length, but he felt like he owed the Yankee fan base at least that much. Okay. Whoop-de-damn-do. He did so. So what? Maybe, just maybe, Juan Soto looked at the Yankees and all the holes that they come into the season with year after year after year after year after year. Maybe he doesn't have any confidence in Brian Cashman, GM emeritus, GM for life. Maybe he just does not really trust Brian Cashman for the next 15 years of his career. Because every year in and year out, Brian Cashman spends all this freaking money during the offseason, and then all of a sudden, they're almost like the LeBron of baseball, except they're a team and not one individual. We're about 2-3 months inside, right before it starts becoming trading season. Oh my God, the Yankees don't have enough. The Yankees need to make a move. But my thing is, if you have a payroll of over $300 million, why 2 months into the season, all of a sudden you have all these holes exposed? And this is not a Yankee bashing session. No, it isn't. Because why should we, the Kings of New York, waste our time bashing the also-rans, bashing the undercard, bashing Java City? No. You see, I got my swagger back because I got my son back around my neck. Long time coming. And which is ironic because he's a Yankee fan. Sorry, Kai. This is not directed towards you. whatsoever. I'm quite sure later on you'll make me stub my toe or something, or be startled in the night. And I say that because that's just his sense of humor. He'll like to get me back like that. But yeah, it's not a Yankee bash extension at all. This is the Mets finally going toe to toe, mano a mano, with that organization in the burnt down, boogie down Bronx, looking them square in the eye and saying, not this time, bucko. And let's get to brass tacks. Get to some of this info. Juan Soto agreed to a record 15-year, $765 million contract with the New York Mets this past Sunday. The deal, which is pending a physical as of time of this recording, eclipses the $700 million contract over 10 years, which included significant deferrals that Shohei Ohtani received from the Los Angeles Dodgers last winter. MLB valued that deal at $460 million in present-day value because of the deferrals. Soto's deal, according to the sources, contains an opt-out after the 5th season with no deferrals. Yes, after 5 years, he can opt out, and the Mets, instead of giving him $51 million per year, will bump it up an extra $5 to $56 million per year. This whole contract has the potential to go over $800 million. Speaking about the opt-out, Soto can opt out following the 2029 season if the Mets don't increase his salary from $51 million to $55 million over the final 10 years of the contract. Also, Soto's contract would pay him $305 million, including a $75 million signing bonus in the first 5 years of the deal, for an average annual value of $61 million during that stretch. Soto will give the Mets a franchise cornerstone to team up with Francisco Lindor in the lineup, giving the team the 1-2 combo that the rivals don't have, and which rivals anybody in baseball, especially in New York. Because who the hell the Yankees are going to get? Whoever the Yankees get to pair up with Judge will not be equal to what they just lost. Yeah, I'm talking my ish. The Yankees, so they say, they push hard to re-sign Soto, with managing partner Hal Steinbrenner raising his offer to $760 million for 16 years. More than double than what the Yankees gave Aaron Judge, 9 years, $360 million in free agency before the 2023 season. See how times have changed? Remember, Steve Cohen gave Francisco Lindor a 10-year, $340 million contract before he reached free agency after acquiring the All-Star from Cleveland for Quattro 4 years ago. Back then, that was the largest deal in New York metropolitan history until Soto's agreement. Soto hit a career-high 41 home runs last season with the Yankees. And overall, he batted 288 with a 419 on-base percentage and 569 slugging. The Mets will place Juan Soto in right field in a lineup that, aside from Lindor, includes Mark Vientos, superstar in the making, and Brandon Nimmo, team leader extraordinaire. With Soto on board, the Mets officials can officially look toward the polar bear, Pete Alonso, who has long sought a long deal in free agency. Now, Alonso just coincidentally happens to be represented by the same agent that represents Juan Soto, Scott Boras. And Alonso has repeatedly said his desire is to remain with the only organization that he has known throughout his career. Steve Cohen, aka Uncle Steve, failures in Cohen's first 4 years as owner. Yeah, it was all right, but they no longer are a defining feature of getting Matt Scherzer, who is quick to get out of Dodge. Well, Matt Scherzer, remember Mr. Man's like, well, they told me that they were planning on rebuilding for the next 2 years and they weren't going to, even try to attempt to compete until 2026. Well, fool you. Guess what? We said that shit just to get out from underneath your contract. We said that shit so you will waive your no trade clause and you get the fuck out of New York. You got your ring. So what? Get out of here. Scram. Beat it. Verlander. Yeah, that was. But guess what? We got some good farm picks for Verlander to send him back to Houston. So he was good for something. There was something that came out today that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Buster Olney of ESPN might have mentioned that Steve Cohen is known to want to foster relationships with his players. Maybe a little bit unlike the Yankees, in which they say we pay you, you play. The brand is the brand. Almost like Marlo Stanfield. My name is my name. Instead, Steve Cohen wants to foster relationships, wants to make players feel like they're family. And but the news that came out was something that I didn't even think about, but I think it's, listen, me a bag of shells, I mean, we haven't missed anything. He got his ring. We got better. It's the fact that Jacob deGrom wasn't really keen on quote unquote kissing the ring of Steve Cohen. And that's kind of what made him decide to leave in free agency. And in other words, like, no matter the amount of money that you're going to pay me, I'm not going to be your friend, which is his right. But guess what? Jacob, how that? Just saying. Jake the Snake. Love you. I don't know what happened, but is what it is. We're going to let bygones be bygones. Now, Cohen struck gold with the Francisco Lindor trade and subsequent contract extension. He found the right president of baseball operations in David Stearns. Yes, we poached him. We got him from the Milwaukee Brewers. And the right manager in Carlos Mendoza. And I ain't gonna lie, before the beginning of last year, I was like, yo, who is this scrub that they got? Carlos Mendoza. Well, guess what? Carlos Mendoza pushed all the buttons. He's young, he's smart, he's respected, he's a great baseball mind, and he melds both the analytics and the gut feeling into what I would call almost a perfect mold of a manager. And if he was able to get the Mets off the mat after being 10 games under 500, being left for dead at the end of May, to get all the way 2 games from the World Series, imagine what he's going to do when he has Juan Soto at his disposal. Imagine. More than anything, Steve Cohen upended the culture inside and around the organization after decades of carrying themselves like a mid-market team. When we had the Coupons, the Wilpons, the Mets grew into a version in which they could be a frightening machine, replete with talented people and an owner willing to go where others wouldn't. And that's courtesy of the New York Post. Soto's signing signifies the next step in the Mets evolution, the next step in the Mets takeover. This is not yet a championship team. Yes, their run to the National League Championship Series this year took a stroke of fortune, but it's got the bones of one of one of these sustaining, successful franchises that will be a force to reckon with, and not only the NL East, but the National League as a whole. We can be not the Los Angeles Dodgers of the East. We will be to the point that we will make the Dodgers feel like the New York Mets of the West. With Stern's know-how, Mendoza's feel, and Cohen's support, this triumvirate has the Mets foundation looking rock solid, capable of withstanding shifts that bring down empires, that bring down forces, that bring down franchises of a lesser ilk. Now, flipping over real quickly before I tidy this up, flipping over real quickly to the Yankees side of the equation. There are those within that organization that feel a weight off their shoulders, knowing that they aren't locked into such a financial commitment to one player and now can truly spread the money around to improve a roster that, including Soto, fell to the Dodgers in the World Series. You know what that is? That's plain speak for, I want to spend what I want to spend. The fans will come regardless. We will always be in contention to get into the playoffs. We will probably be in contention to get into the ALCS every year. And if we just bought ourselves at least another 5 years, let's say on the conservative side, aggressive side, we bought ourselves another 3 years of not making the World Series. And I can truly allow my son, my brother, Brian Cashman, to dumpster dive for all these lesser players and try to mold the team into his vision, because that's one thing that Brian Cashman, who's been GM for over 30 freaking years, that's one of the things that he has always wanted to do, is prove that he doesn't need the big money players to round out a team. And the closest he's ever gotten to that was the baby Yanks of 2017, when they got to the world, when they got one out away from the World Series. And how has that happened? And how's that gone for the last 7 years? Yeah, that's what I thought. Think about this for a second. A Yankee chose to be a Met. Yes. A New York Yankee chose to be a Met. Not just any Yankee chose to be a Met. One who helped lead this franchise, the franchise when I'm talking about, the New York Yankee franchise, to a World Series this past year. And one who the team was equally prepared to pay that $760 million. But like I said, perhaps that feel of a weight off their shoulders, knowing that they aren't locked into a financial commitment, can just allow them to spread the riches. The New York Post baseball columnist Joe Sherman said on his Pinstripe Post last night, "I think there are a lot of players in their room who are like, we dodged the bullet. I'm glad Reed didn't do this." He said on the show this past Sunday night after the 26-year-old Soto agreed to the deal with the Mets. Listen, like I said, the hot stove is short, it's heating up. I'll probably be back later on next week with news of the polar bear resigning. And look at that lineup. Look at the middle of that lineup. If we get the polar bear back in the lineup, we have Soto, Lindor, Alonso, and Vientos. The four. It's not the Trinity. The Trinity plus one. The symbol of excellence. And Nemo. Put a couple youngsters in there. Now all we gotta do is just kind of like work to shore up our rotation. And if we could just if we get pitchers that just could give us a solid 6 innings with this potential murderous row that we have. Listen, as a Jets fan, especially over the last 2 years, I'm not going to gloat for so much because way different situation. We're getting a 26-year-old man player who is clearly in his prime, beginning of the prime, some would say. Surefire Hall of Famer for at least the next 7 productive years. I'll even go on the stretch to say 9 years to 35. But I've seen in firsthand how a team who has lofty expectations due to a key acquisition quickly finds themselves in the dumpster. So I will be conservative. But if you think I am going to hide my happiness for the fact that we got the big fish, we got Moby Dick, if you will, must be out your mother effing mind. To all these Yankee fans out there, I ask you this one question. Matter of fact, I will sing this one question. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? Breaking news. On the football front, Aaron Rodgers threw for over 300 yards passing for the first time in over 30 games. So what's that, like 3 seasons? So like since like 2021. 2 wide receivers, both Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams, had 100 yards, over 100 yards receiving. And you think they win, right? You think all those milestones, you would think they have won, right? Yeah. Like, y'all forgot who we're talking about here? Did y'all really forget who we're talking about here? We're talking about the New York Jets. They had the lead with 44 seconds remaining. And then on the ensuing kickoff, they gave up a 48-yard kickoff return to give the Dolphins a great chance to get into field goal range to kick the tying field goal. So, of course, the Dolphins did that. Yeah, of course they did. Like, why wouldn't they have done that? And then, of course, in overtime, they put the nail in the coffin to officially eliminate us from the playoffs. Like we've really been in the place in playoff position for the last 2 months. Yeah, all right. Well, they effectively put us out of a collective misery. The only thing that they did right was at least cover, because Miami is trash the damn selves. Yes, they are trash. This was the Jets' 4th loss in a row. ended ninth in the last 10 games. This is also their ninth straight loss in Miami. Do you know that the New York Jets, the New York Jets, you know they failed to reach the postseason since 2010? So that makes 14 years consecutively that they have lost. They have not made the playoffs. Do you know that their 14-year playoff drought stands at the longest current dry spell in any of the country's 4 major leagues? The NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and MLB. I believe if the Sabres of the National Hockey League miss the playoffs, that we might just be tied with them for 14 years in a row. Do you know how it is to be a fan of a team and every year for the last decade and a half, you got to cut your fandom off around December, January, and then still watch football because that's what you do? It's almost like you have to take a proxy team. Like, you know what? I think I'm going to be a Chiefs fan for the next couple of weeks. You know what? I think I'm going to be a Buffalo fan for the next couple of weeks. You know what? I think I'm going to hate the Eagles for the next couple of weeks. You know, you get the gist. I mean, listen, if y'all really think I'm going to go on and on and on and talk about these Jets, y'all got another thing coming. Nothing to say. I mean, look, we have a offensive left tackle in the making. A great offensive tackle in the making. Olu Falanu, or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, that dude, the rookie. Yeah, he's done good. Isaiah Davis. Yeah, pretty good. Braden Allen. Yeah, we thought this was going to be a thing. Hall and Allen, 24, the Killer Bees. Yeah, okay. And the only reason Davis and Allen got some burns because Breece Hall has an injured MCL, which they probably should just shut him down for the rest of the season. Don't give him any reason to get hurt for next year. Yeah, you know, Source didn't play. DJ Reed had a horrible game for some reason last game. Sherwood had a career high 13 solo tackles. Quincy Williams played all right. You know, good start. But we're 3-10. And do you know what probably was the worst thing that happened? Well, the worst thing that came out of last night, well, the most newsworthy to me, this cocksucker right here. Cocksucker G's up. No false move. Get Swiss cheesed up. When asked in the post-game press conference about the New York Jets' 14 years of futility of not making the postseason in that time, Mr. Don't Blame Me said, well, you know, I'm only responsible for one of them. Yeah. He really said that. Technically, he's responsible for 2 of them because if his frail, fragile ass wouldn't have got hurt last year, maybe, just maybe not, but just maybe, we could have salvaged last season. And maybe would have went into this season with a whole different game plan. Not depending on a 41-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles injury. And yeah, I know this is going to sound so messed up because it's taken me almost 2 seasons to say this, but quiet as kept. That injury was his fault. Yes, the injury was his fault because if he would have threw the ball on time, if he would have threw the ball to the open receiver instead of thinking he was Aaron Rodgers in 2010, or a matter of fact, thinking he was in the Matrix due to the ayahuasca that he'd been taking in the off season. And that's another thing. I have yet to watch the documentary on Netflix, Enigma, the Aaron Rodgers story on his things that he did during the off season, and wasn't the whole thing was he missed OTAs because he went to Egypt and he had that plan, but then we find out that yeah, he missed OTAs to pretty much, in layman's terms, get high. How are we supposed to feel? Look how gaunt he looks. I swear. I swear. I've told people this. I tried to insinuate this on HGF. If Aaron Rodgers was not Aaron Rodgers and we knew about his exploits off the field, would he not be accused of smoking that crack? Would he? Would he not? I mean, tell you the truth, you look at him and you look at Hunter Biden, they look like bosom buddies, don't they? The crooked teeth, the exposed cheekbones, um, the sunken in eyes. Just saying. I'm just saying. If that was anybody else, if that was Doc Gooden circa 1986, Dow Strawberry circa 1988, we be calling them smoked out. We be calling them crack is rack, crack is whack. We be calling them all types of names. But because it's Aaron Rodgers, we're supposed to refrain from that. That mother effer took a pay cut because he's like, look, yo, dude, I'm so enlightened. I don't need any money. Just pay me in drugs. Pay me in whiskey. I swear, I thought he was an alcoholic his last couple years in Green Bay when he would just talk about and ramble on in the post press conferences and like, yeah, I'm just gonna go home, get me a glass of scotch and just get myself ready for next week. Everybody thought that was so open. No. That mother effer was letting you know exactly what time it was. He didn't give a natural fuck. And why should we? Why should we? I watched this game, not with disgust. I watched this game. They were up 23-15. I'm like, yeah, okay. When's the other shoe gonna drop? 23 up? Yeah, we're gonna lose this game. How are we gonna lose this game? Oh, 26-23. Okay. But there's still 44 seconds left. There's still a chance for them to F this up. Oh, we're going to overtime? Yeah, okay. I swear. It was almost like an episode of Comic View. Yeah. It's not really else to say. Except for Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head because when I say I didn't get not one win yesterday, well, I got a couple culprits that I gotta spew my salty thoughts at. Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head, aka my gambling picks for week 14. First on the menu are the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. Listen, I'm going to let y'all know straight up. I had a 7-way parlay, which, okay, listen, I wasn't really stressing the 7-way parlay. But they all seem like good choices to me. Tell you the truth, I think one was a mistake because I really swear I thought I picked Minnesota. And then, much to my chagrin, I ended up saying that I picked Atlanta. I didn't even pick them to win. I just picked them to cover. I swear, every time I pick them to cover, they get blown the fuck out. And Mr. Low Fat B just laugh and talk about, yeah, I've been betting on it just to lose for the last 4 weeks, and guess what? I'm a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So what? I swear, like I said, I really wasn't trying to. Anyway, so what really got my goat was really got my goat like the word at the vote. I did a round robin, 4 out of 7, a 7-way, and I was like, you know what? I know I can at least get 4 out of 7. 4 out of 7. You know how many I got? 3 out of 7. I'll tell you the games right now. I had the Los Angeles Chargers +4. Los Angeles lost to Kansas City 19-17, so they covered. I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers money line over the Raiders. They beat the Raiders 28-13. I had the Pittsburgh Steelers money line over the Cleveland Browns 27-14, victorious. Okay. And here's where everything starts falling apart. I had the Chicago Bears money line, not even the cover, money line over the struggling, the reeling San Francisco 49ers. Not only did they lose, they got their ass bust. 38-13. It wasn't even that close. Then I said, you know what? Buffalo's on the roll. They're going against the Rams. Rams defense can be had. It's on the road. But it's in climate regulated environment. I'm going to take Bills -3.5. Bills almost made me a winner with a furious comeback, coming back down from 17. But ultimately, they lost 44-42 in a barn burner, best game of the weekend. But no, wait, it gets worse. Look at this. Look at this. Like they couldn't listen. Wait, it gets worse. But wait, it gets worse. The Arizona Cardinals. They were favorites. They were favored over the Seattle Seahawks. I figured, if the worst thing to do, they could split. They went to Seattle a couple weeks ago. They got shut down 16-6. Seattle's coming off a emotional victory over my New York Jets. They're ready and willing for a letdown. Oh, how I was mistaken. Not only did they let down, they let the Cardinals down bad. 30-18. It wasn't even that close. Ridiculous. But last but not least, like I said, it's these cocksuckers right here. The Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. I didn't have them to win. I just had them to cover. Can you get beat by less than 6 points? If they get beat by less than 6 points, I cash in on some of my round robin. Just some. Did they? Of course not. Of course not. Not only did they not cover, not only did they not win, they got blown out in spectacular fashion. 42-21. So, once again, I had a round robin of 7. 4 out of 7. That's all I needed. And I got 3 out of 7. 3 out of 7. And the games, the people that I counted on with the Arizona Cardinals trying to show some support to a Mr. McDowell, those fuckers are trash. The Buffalo Bills, that's what I get for rooting for an individual rival. Okay, that's understandable. And then the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. I got notes on all this, but being the fact that there's a lot of these teams that I'm going to be talking about in HGF, guess what? I'm going to save my notes so I don't sound like a recording. So that means half my work is done. Even though my pockets are filled with lint instead of filled with ecstasy. No, not e-pills. Ecstasy meaning money, greenbacks, presidents. Presidents to represent me. Get money. I'm out for presidents to represent me. Get money. I'm out for dead fucking presidents to represent me. Whose word is this? Not mine. Thanks to the Atlanta Falcons. But I will say this, because this is one of the teams that I will not be talking about, so I'll divulge some of the notes I have on these bum-ass Falcons. Kirk Cousins, bum-ass, yet again, messed up my parlay. Yes, he did. 23 of 37, 344 yards passing. Another garbage time MVP. But guess what? 344 yards passing, 0 touchdowns. 0. Not a damn time he got into the end zone. But he did give up 2 interceptions. I repeat, 0 touchdowns. How in the hell do you throw for that many yards and not get at least 1 touchdown? Hi, brother, little fat. Answer me that. Riddle me that. I swear, Low Fat said that he smelt my bet all the way down in the dirty, and that's why they lost. Well, how about I smelt their stench all the way wafering from Minnesota? How about those cocksuckers were 6-3 at one time, and now they're hanging on by a slim thread of 6-7 and probably not making the playoff? They've lost 4 straight. And I'm going to look at this schedule live and in living color so I can officially put them out of their misery. Because they got 4 games left, right? Yes, they do. And let's look. Oh wow. You know what? Okay, they got damn. They're actually playing next Monday night. Why the hell are they playing? Why can't they get flexed? They're playing next Monday night against the Las Vegas Raiders. I will save my opinion for HGF. Matter of fact, I'm not picking the Raiders. So I guess that's a victory. So that's 7-7. Then they got the New York Giants at home. Wow. As much as I don't want to pick against the Giants, I think the Giants are kind of positioning themselves for optimum draft picks. So that's another win. That's 8-7. Let's put it this way, Mr. Low Fat. If you lose to the Giants and or the Vegas Raiders, you deserve to be any insult I decide to call you and those loathsome Atlanta Falcons. Then y'all visit the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I swear, if I didn't have to take my grandkids back, I would say, you know what? Let's get it. Let's go half and half on the game, even though I have no allegiance to Washington whatsoever. But figured we go to Washington, watch them. But I'm not watching your pathetic team, especially in the cold in Washington, D.C. At FedEx Field, if they even call it FedEx Field anymore, that's a loss. So that means they're about 8-8. And then they finish up with the Carolina Panthers at home, and Carolina has been playing great the last couple of years. Last couple of weeks. Yeah, the wins haven't equated to how well they've been playing, especially Bryce Young, but there's no guarantee that y'all gonna win that game, because I remember all the way back in October, even though y'all eventually pulled away for a 38-20 victory against those Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Panthers had you on the ropes with the red rifle behind center. And I think that was last time that Atlanta actually cashed in for me. So, the questions being, Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head by putting money on the Atlanta Falcons once again. I probably would have been better off doing a single game parlay just on my New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins, but I guarantee if I were to put a single game parlay on that, guess what? That outcome would be totally different. So that leads me to say, well, am I going to bet next week? I don't know. I got a cruise I'm trying to pay for. And right now, based on DraftKings, they have actually helped me pay for a quarter, 25% of my cruise. I haven't come out of my pocket yet. So I figured, if I got 40 hours to spend, maybe, just maybe, I might try to get some Christmas shillings. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's too early in the week to tell. And that's this week's edition of Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head. Oh, before I forget, Mr. McDowell. Mr. McDowell.
What he did? He laughed. He doubted. He scolded me. It's another beautiful day out in the Valley of the Sun. But why am I out here? Why am I out here? It's quite simple. As of this recording, the Arizona Cardinals are dominating the New York Jets by a score of 31-6. Now, before the season, I advised Mike Steph that the Cardinals were not to be underestimated this year. Do you know what he did? He laughed. He doubted. He scolded me. Every week, he blesses us with these episodes. He spreads his sazon about how the New York Jets are the team, the next team up, the team to be feared. Okay. Reminder that there are many acronyms in 19 media. There's MAS, Michael A. Steffens. There's MJK, the Mojo King. But the most important acronym in 19 media today and forever will be TMB. Yeah.
Like I attempted to say last week, I've told him verbatim to his virtual face, and I'm going to tell him again. Did he just put my whole government out there for the masses to know? I mean, I have nothing to hide. This Mike Steph. You think I was born with the name Mike Steph? Listen, when you have a man, when you have a face that's just this dashing, just this ravishing. Doesn't matter if you know my government or not. But I'm about to go off the beaten path. That's not what I was about to say. If you are going to talk about initials, T, M, B, yeah. Stay with the chess. Mike Steph's HGF one big thing. Yeah. That's how it's done. And to carry it over here, Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head. Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. Next week, I plan on giving y'all a new episode. It's a little up in the air right now. Based on what I told you at the very beginning, that I have a lot of moving parts and I have a lot of things that I have to attend to in preparing for my grandchildren coming to spend the holidays with Pop and the Gigi and auntie and uncle and so forth. So yeah, I'll keep y'all abreast of what's going on. But before I get out of here, two things in particular. One, first and foremost, I'm going to get to the plugs real quick, which is Salty Thoughts and Mike Steph, the audio version, even though I've been slacking on it, is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, amongst others. New episodes drop on Thursdays. Yeah, I know there haven't been a couple new episodes audioly, but new episodes drop on Thursdays. Check me out on the social medias at Mike Steffens, _ on X, at least until the end of the year. Check me out on Mike _ Steph on Instagram, and check me out on Mike Steph _ on TikTok. Cash at me some bread, because 1080p is not cheap at all. $ Donnie Mike on Cash App, and check out the blog MikeSteph.wordpress.com for everything Mike Steph affiliated. Yeah. Check out Hidden Gems Football, HGF for short, hosted by the Mojo King and myself. New episodes drop each and every Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Yes, indeedy. I wrote graffiti on the bus. Now, even though they took off this past week, how dare them? Please check out Gimmick Infringement, hosted by Brad Winchester and Tyler McDowell Blinken. Their podcast drops each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the 19 Media Group YouTube channel and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Check out my brother from Chi-Town, Hit to the Games, hosted by Desmond Powell, drops each and every Friday on the 19 Media Group YouTube channel and all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. But most importantly, his last episode was a monumental occasion. His episode 100. Episode 100. Please check out Hip to the Games, hosted by Desmond Powell, who drops each and every other Friday on the 19 Media Group YouTube channel and on streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Check out his 100th episode. Please. He doesn't, trust and believe, he doesn't need me begging, but any begging will count. And when you go over there and you holler at him, let him know Mike Steph sent you. One thing left on that front is the fact that, listen, not to toot my own horn, and usually I'm not really a number-centric guy, but I want to give a big shout out to none other than Desmond Powell for helping me to achieve a milestone in the YouTube history of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. Our episode that we dropped 2 weeks ago, episode 74, entitled Hip to the Game, featuring Desmond Powell, is my most viewed episode ever. My most viewed podcasting episode ever. And not only does that achievement make me feel great, it makes me feel great about the content that we gave out on that episode, being the fact that it was 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours, and we talked about a myriad of topics. We talked about basketball, we talked about family, we talked about upbringing, we talked about faith, most importantly. And the fact that that was well received really makes me feel great. So once again, check out Desmond Powell, Hip to the Game. Great brother, great young brother, young OG, if you will. And I ain't talking out my ass, I'm talking facts. And before episode 100, check out episode 99, in which he broke down Protect Your Neck. We broke down into the 36 Chambers, the inaugural edition, the inaugural LP from the Wu-Tang Clan down to a fine china. Check out that brother. He's a talented brother. And last but not least, check out 4AZ, hosted and created by Tyler McDonald Blinken, which drops normally on Wednesdays on his YouTube channel of 4AZ and all streaming platforms where podcasts are available. But someone pulled a rabbit out their hat and dropped it on a Sunday night, late Monday morning, in place of GI, in which Tyler invited George Romero on. Niners 94 to be exact. Niners with a Z. To recap season 4 of Abbott Elementary, episodes 7 and 8, the Christmas episodes, and they did an exquisite job. So please check out 4AZ. And for more information on 4AZ, please check out 4azteach.org for the movement. Now, oh boy, that was a lot. Now, last but not least, this is something that's kind of near and dear to me. And it was kind of the reason why I was even thinking about whether or not I was actually going to record an episode this week, because I've been concentrating on this. Yeah. That's me. Not that. No, that's not Waldo. That's me. And yes, that is an album cover. Mike Steph, Year 2, The Understanding. Yes. But this one will be a little bit different than last year's. This one is more of a mixtape flavor. It's more, yes, literally it's a mixtape. It's not official dropping. It's not going to be on any streaming platforms. It's not for sale. It's not going to be on Bandcamp. It's a collection of, well, a little bit more than freestyles, but a collection of songs in mixtape form that describes or perfectly encapsulate how I've been feeling over the last year. I'll probably getting more into that more in depth next week, but I personally entitled the last 2 years. Last year was recovery, trials and tribulations, and this year it's the understanding exactly where I am in life, understanding exactly what I've improved on and what I need to get better and what I need to continue battling. And I've been working on it more or less for the whole year, jotting down this, jotting down that, and it's coming out in 3 parts. Yeah, it's coming out in 3 parts. So part 1 will drop, depending on when you listen or watch this. Part 1 will drop on December 10th, Tuesday, December 10th, 12/10 to be exact, which marks my 2-year anniversary for my new beginning, my understanding, my growth, my journey, my recovery, my everything, my sobriety, whole 9. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to celebrate the anniversaries of that date based on music, but 12/10 will always be a very special day to me because things could have went left. Things did go left, but it could have went lefter. I know that makes no sense, but it makes sense to me. And the fact that I was able to pick myself up, and not only pick myself up, but navigate these last 2 years and overcome the challenges that I've encountered and be a better adult, be a better human being, better father, better husband, better friend. Yeah. So please check out Mike Steph, Year 2, The Understanding. It's going to be available on SoundCloud, and it's going to be available on mikesteph.wordpress.com. And if by chance there's any snafus that I'm not able to do without and promoting here, I will put in the community section on YouTube alternate ways on how to receive a copy or copies of this year 2 monumental occasion of Mike Steph dropping music. Because like when I say there's some songs, this is not as maybe a quote unquote as somber as last year's offering, but it's just as important, if not more so, because more comfortable in my own skin. And yeah. There's a reason why I've been freestyling on Instagram. Anytime you see me freestyling on Instagram, that usually means some music is coming. Yeah, I done gave up the secret, but it is what it is. So I'm rambling a lot now, so I'm gonna get out of here. And I will check y'all later. Will I? Yes, I will. I will check y'all later. Because Mike Steph, the Forbidden Door, is all about. It's all about family. It's all about friends. It's all about.
Fuck that!
Clear, guys.
Fuck that! You shut your mouth. Doesn't mean that this shit stops. The ref doesn't give a fuck.
I swear I'm tired of this cocksucker. I mean, I know I'm the one that's in control of this, but when he keeps.
Fuck that!
Clear, guys.
Fuck that! You shut your mouth. Doesn't mean that this shit stops. The ref doesn't give a fuck.
Anyway, let me get out of here. Until next week. Goodbye.